Hi, it's Mishka, and it's time for I Am. It's wonderful to be back with you this week. I've decided, because of this time of the year, to spend a bit of time with our students again and with our younger people, perhaps. You may not be as young, and you can also get something from this, but I do understand that younger people is at a place right now where the decision of what career to go into is so important. And it's just on my heart to just encourage, and to speak to you and say to you, if you are at this point of your life looking at going into any career, now, how do we do this? Very often people are actually they've got to make life-changing decisions. If you're perhaps finishing with school or finishing with your studies at varsity, and you've got to make decisions. I know by now a lot of people perhaps have already decided, but some people have not. How do we decide what career am I actually going to choose? What am I going to do for the rest of my life? It's a vital choice. And I find that a lot of people go in and just do something random. I just don't know what I have to do, so let me get something. And there's different motivations for people starting in careers, and today it's important, and I want to speak to you, because remember, we're approaching life differently. I don't want you to approach life from an angle where you always sort of in that place of everybody else telling you, and you don't really know who you are. Remember, the main focus is, who am I? And when we understand who we are, we even make good decisions in terms of our careers. It's one of the most important decisions of our lives. Now, it's absolutely a fact that often people, when they're finishing matric or they're pretty young, that we don't know. What am I going to do for the rest of my life? Do I really know then? Do I know who I am? And important again, I would encourage you to go and listen to some of the stuff that I've spoken about up until this point in I Am, because understanding who we are and what's that factor that's inside of us that's absolutely perfect. That's the factor that we've been born with. That is who we are. That is who we're destined to be. Remember, if you're making a decision of what career you're going to go into right now, if that is a time of your life where you've got to make a decision of changing careers even. I'm not just talking about people that have to make a decision, well, where am I going to now? From matric or studies or whatever. You may be in any part of your life, and you've got to make a decision about your career. And something inside of you is just not working with this whole thing. You just can't find that sort of a peace. You don't know, where must I go to? What must I do? Where can I find help? There are many things available today. We can go and do tests, because we are unique. If you think about the series that we're doing in I Am, is you and I, we're completely unique. And you've got your own fingerprint, I've got my own fingerprint. We've got a purpose. However, as unique as we are part of a whole big picture. And we form something beautiful, or we form something unhappy. Now, a career is not just a place where we earn money. So I'd like to immediately say that to you, that money follows that which is inside of you. Money will follow when you're actually doing what you're really good at. And everybody has got that. Every single person on the face of this earth, I do believe, inside of deep inside of you, there is something that you are particularly, if I do that, I am good at it. If I do that, I'm good at it. Now, I have people, approaching me and speaking to me and say, yeah, but you know what, you're talking about the sweet spot, and I'm not there yet. And perhaps I should just change my career because I'm not in the right place. I also want to caution you against that, and understand that a sweet place is a place that we go into after we've also dealt with a lot of other things. So we have to be formed into something. You don't just overnight go into something where you just know, okay, this is absolutely perfect, because life is not just an utopia. There's a reality. We talk about it. I spoke to you earlier, a couple of programs back, on the difficulties that we're going to encounter. You may say, we want to be the best me. Now, how am I going to be the best me? There's a difficulty that's going to come. Now, when we choose careers, very often you have to understand the balance. Let me rather put it this way. You've got to understand the balance of what you've been created to do. So there's something inside of you that will always come through stronger than anything else. Whenever you do it, you'll feel there's almost like you just know how to do this. You just sort of flow with it. You feel good about it. You understand it. It feels like you're stronger when you do that specific thing. Some areas you're going to walk in and you're going to feel completely weak because you're not going to understand, now what's this now? When we're still in the beginning of our careers, we need to also understand that life shapes us. Certain positions shapes us. So please, if you're listening to me, and I always say to people, work to get into your sweet spot. Get into that place where you're really happy. Please always understand that there is a balance to that, where when we are in a place, it might not feel like your sweet spot. It might be the right place to prepare you for that. Because unless something has gone through a preparation process, it can also not become the best. We have to go through certain things in life to shape us and to get our character going, to understand, am I going to make the right choices? If I'm in a really, really difficult situation, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Don't ever misunderstand and think that you're going to be in your sweet spot and that's just it. Life's just going to be wonderful. Because that's not what it means to be in your sweet spot. To be in your sweet spot means that you've got something. And when you start to do that, there is that absolute strength inside of you that whenever the difficulty will hit you, it won't be that difficult to overcome. But we were also talking very often about how do we get ourselves in shape for that. It's just not something that happens, because when the difficulty comes, that muscle should be now exercised. And that's very much what a career does. Looking back today and employing quite a lot of people myself, and looking at them coming in and expectations and where we are at, it's interesting to see how people think and what people expect from life, and how often we want but we're not willing to give. Remember, career is something that we need to trade almost who we are. So once again, when we're going to start to either study or we're going to start to look for a position where we can earn something and where we can go into life, where we can work, where we can present ourselves out to everybody out there. What am I going to give of myself? What am I good at? What is that's inside of me that will actually make you and make somebody else's life better? Now, there's a certain period of our lives when we're young and we've got absolutely no idea sometimes. I mean, maybe when we're at school, somebody's good at sport, or there's natural abilities that come out. Yes, absolutely. But when we start a career, it's a big world. It's different. It is so, so different. When you're at school, when you're studying, the environment is different. All of a sudden, you're walking into a corporate environment, and it's sometimes, I would imagine, so threatening and scary. So, as I'm talking to you today, I'm talking to you as from a heart that would tell you to understand who you are and what you have to offer, because companies are looking for that. Companies are looking today for somebody that will actually come in and bring their value there to this specific organization. But you see, it is a trading. It is two things that's got to happen. When we give ourselves, when we step into that career, we are bringing something of ourselves. We're bringing that part of ourselves out now. And we say, this I'm going to trade to you because it's my time. You're going to pay me a salary. So already when we start in a career, that is trading who I am. That's what they're going to be looking for. We interview a lot of people. We've been doing that for many, many years. I'm not doing it anymore as much. But that's one of the things that I have done so much of in my life. And when you go and present yourself in a career, why are you there? Prepare for that specific interview. Make sure that that company understands what you're going to offer them. Understand that the company is now not the educational institution. The company is not mommy and daddy. They want something from you. This is a different world. They want to understand what it is that you've got to give them. Very often people don't find employment because they simply don't know how to market themselves. When we choose a career and the career is in line with what we've got to offer, then we have to make sure it is reflected. So when I reflect that, I put that onto my CV. I make sure that whoever is going to read that will understand who I am. Can you see how important that is? Choosing a career. Now I can't just choose a career and think everybody is going to want me, or if nobody's going to want me. I mean, people have different thoughts, thinking patterns. But nevertheless, it is a very, very skillful thing to go out and make sure that whatever you've got on that CV and that curriculum vitae reflects who you are. But that is not always enough. But we have to know that when that document is going out, they have no opportunity to hear you speak first. So that document is speaking on your behalf. The document, your curriculum vitae, is going to tell people who you are. So I don't know if you just want to send a document out there that is put together slapdash or sometimes very long-winded, or I mean, people don't want to read a storybook. So it's really worth your while to understand how to put yourself across on that document. You've got to take yourself as a person, once again, see that if you were the company, what would you be looking for in that person? What are they asking for when you're responding to an advert? I'm looking for a career. I want to start something. I don't actually know where to start. You're a company. You've got a position available for me. It's an opportunity. So how are you going to get that opportunity when 10 or 15 or 100 other people are asking for it? That's a question. How well do you know yourself? How well do you know that if you walk into that company, that you will do something and add value to the company? When you prepare yourself to walk into a career, how are you willing to go and study the company that you're going to for the interview? It's powerful. When you can walk into an interview and have that confidence and say, this is who I am, once again, I've got these abilities. I've got this confidence that what I'm bringing to you is going to bring you a return on investment. Because that's what business is all about. Very few companies are looking just to employ people randomly, you know. I know it depends on the position. I do understand that sometimes, you know, it's just a job or something that's going to be short term just to bring in a certain amount of income into your life. But even that should be a reflection of who we are. It should never be something that I'm just doing, because that's a waste of time. That's a waste of energy. That is telling us that you don't really know that you want to add value to somebody. So when you go out and you've got the tenacity to choose your career, first choose wisely. Understand who you are. Understand that if something is not in your temperament, that is going to frustrate you at some point of time. What do I mean by that? You know, being a general manager of an IT company, you need to understand one thing is we're an IT resource company, and the most interesting fact of that is I've got absolutely no IT experience. But I've got all the IT expertise around me, and everybody always says, how on earth is it that you're running this big company? And it's all IT based, and I've got no idea. Everybody else has always got to make sure that my stuff is done. You see, I'm not an IT expert, but I know that. But I'm a businesswoman, and I know that as well. And I've got confidence to lead. I've got confidence to grow. I've got confidence to take other people who are IT people and take them to the next level. I've got the confidence to make sure that my staff are absolutely the best when I give it out there in the field. When we've got people and we send them out there, that is who I am. I'm a leader in that industry. I understand what I'm doing. So when I go and I present myself, that's what I present. But I've got the ability to take other people. And when somebody, a lot of our guys, for instance, in information technology, are people that they can sit behind a computer for days on end. They don't have to see anybody. They don't really want to see crowds of people. So we need to understand our temperament. Who are we? Am I a person that loves being around people? Do I love talking all the time? Do I have a driver's personality? I just want to get the job done, go for it. Entrepreneur, that's it. We're leaders, we're opening the doors for everybody else. We're brave. And then you've got people that are creative, and that's all that they want to be. And that's it. And they might frustrate other people that are not creative. But we need the creative people so much. And to be creative is amazing, but they may not even think about time, you see. Creative person is not considered, who cares? I mean, really. It might be 9%, 10%, whatever. But they're so amazing. And they can just do these wonderful things. We've got people that are so precise. That's a temperament. Absolutely everything should be in a specific box. And then we think, other people might think it's wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. But we all form this unity. And unless we understand who we are, if we choose a career that's going to be something that our temperament is not going to work with, it's going to frustrate us all day long. You cannot put a person who do not like people, do not love interaction with people, in sales, for instance. I mean, you may start and I don't think any amount of positive thinking is going to get a really, really introvert out there and selling stuff. And you see, when we do that, we harm ourselves, because when we then don't make a success of it, we feel we failed. But we have not failed, you see. You've got to be a genius at who you are. So you can't get a fish to climb a tree, something that Einstein also said, the fish cannot climb trees. When you put the fish in water, you'll see the genius of the fish. You'll see how beautiful they are. That's what we do in a career. Don't ever be caught in a place. And nobody else should have the right to tell us where we should be at a specific time. When we're younger, you've got to be molded. You've got to have people over you. You've got to have leaders telling you. You've got to have mentors guiding you in the right direction. But understand one thing. There's only one person that's got to live your life and is going to be with you until you are going again at 80 or 70 or whatever age. It's you. Most people don't hang around that long. So you and I, need to know who we are when we choose our careers. We need to know the integral part of ourselves, the strengths that we are. And when we choose that career, we can choose it with so much more boldness, so much more confidence. So I really, really hope that this talk has helped you. If you are looking to change a career or looking at a new career, at choosing what to go and study, man, be very, very sensitive and take time to make a decision. Take time to find out who you are. Write it down, ask people, find out, do tests. There's so much we can do today. There's so much, even on internet, available for free, to find out what is it that I enjoy. What is it, where is it that I should be? Get the help and make a good decision. From me, until next week, goodbye.